Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the dark side. Thank you for making this transition with me. I appreciate it, each and every one of you. Feel free to invite anyone that you think would bring value to this group as well. Follow us on Discord. I will post the Discord links in the description underneath the video. So, taking a look at the S&P 500, we'll start off with the S&P 500 and just digging in here. So this is technically a reversal candle on the week. Oops. And so you can kind of see here, if I stretch it out a little bit, you can kind of see here that we had a doji candle closing near the low of the candle. I would not be surprised if price came down to just kind of check in with this price channel. And we'll dig down to the daily chart and then the intraday charts here in a minute, but absolutely possible. Another thing to consider though is price can always open up the week and retrace halfway, maybe some Fibonacci numbers, halfway, maybe almost all the way up, or possibly even all the way up before rolling over, if that's what it was going to do, roll over. But we have to take one day at a time and just kind of take a look at what it's doing. What's interesting is as I go down the time frames, you'll start to notice different things. So that is the weekly chart. Let's take a look at the daily chart. So on the daily chart, I see something a little bit different now. Daily chart, I almost see the opposite. I see price running up, hitting resistance, pulling back, and then that's a reversal candle. Not only a reversal candle on the moving average. And if I zoom in here, check this out. Something we don't see all the time, but it's kind of high on the chart there, but let's see here. See if I can clean this up a little bit. Okay, something I want you guys to check out for a minute. So we had this big green candle right here. I think it was around the 13th. And then price broke out and then it back tested and then it rallied up, found resistance, pulled back. Here's something to keep an eye on. Technically speaking, today's candle low 319.25 still did not close this gap, and I have the gap number right here. It still did not close the gap. So technically speaking, this could be looked at as bullish, but keep in mind it could also be a day of consolidation before lower prices. So what I did is I went long on several different names, not huge positions, and what I did is I'm using the low of that candle as my stop loss. So if we open the day on Monday, if we open up lower than this price level 318.92, roughly almost down to that price level. If we open up lower than that, I'm going to close out and consider it a stopped out trade. And so let's look at the intraday charts. We'll start off with the 4 hour. Whoops. 4 hour, little bit different now. On the 4 hour chart, it almost looks like a down move and it's consolidating, usually resulting in another down move, which would actually put us closer. It would put us closer to this trend line over here. Whoops. It would put us target price around this trend line, maybe even the low of this candle. Okay, but there's a lot of support down here. I don't think the world is over. I don't think that the market is crashing. In fact, as long as we stay above this price channel or price level, if we stay above this trend from the March lows, or actually be the beginning of April, um, there's a lot of support here. A sell signal, for those of you wondering, holding long-term positions from this back here, a sell signal would be if price came below, broke down below, back test, and if you saw it roll over and break and make a new lower low or lower high, that would be a good time to consider getting out of your longer term positions. But for me, most of my long-term positions I'm holding for the next 10 years at least. So, we'll see what happens. But as far as swing trading, that's a perfect area to be buying at. Absolutely. Until that trend line breaks, it's a perfect area to be buying at. So let's go down to the 1 hour. By the way, feel free to post under the video if you got something out of this video, or if there's something that you want to learn more about and I could possibly look for the answer. Okay, I'm having issues here. So same thing on the hourly. On the hourly chart, it almost looks like, let me fix something here. It almost looks like a bear flagish kind of a pattern. So this almost looks like a bear flag kind of pattern. It goes, price goes down, falls down a little bit, trades sideways. Usually resulting in another move down, which will give us a perfect opportunity to swing trade something like that. So we'll take a look at that. I'm going to go down even further. I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart just so we can see the intraday action. So I came into the day short on a lot of names, primarily a lot of China names, and the reason why is we had that embassy close in Texas, I believe. We closed the Chinese embassy, and so as soon as that happened, I went ahead and started short positions in some Chinese names. The other thing to consider is that the Chinese markets have been rallying for several weeks now, incredible rally, and so I do believe that a slight pullback in the China market. And so looking at coming into today, I think I was short IW. I was short in a bunch of areas. IWM, TAL. I was short Huya. So let's just look at the S&P 500 though. So same thing. We see a down move, consolidate, bear flag into yesterday. I decided to swing my shorts, and then we gapped down. At the opening print is when I closed my short positions, and then I went long. And I added to my position down here. And so what I'm looking at is today's low. We have a little bit of a, it's possible that this could result in an up move looking at this chart, but in the same pattern, overall, we have a down move, consolidation, usually resulting to the downside. So we will see. Stop loss for me is set at today's low, 319.25. So if I get a close on an hourly basis below that price level, I will be exiting my long positions, my long swing trades. And so that's the S&P 500. Let's look at the Qs. I've jokingly said this. The Qs are on timeout, right? The Nasdaq is on timeout. There's a reason why. It's sector rotation, right? Sector rotation. Check the banks, check the transports. But for me, same thing in the Qs. As long as we're above this trend line, and I know that today's candle dropped below the trend line a little bit. Maybe I have my trend line drawn in the wrong spot. Maybe it does come more like this. But just looking at this chart, today was a little bit more bullish than the actual S&P 500. So maybe we'll see some bullishness come back into the Qs. But I joked about them being on timeout. It's because we ran up. We've been running up since March, and so almost straight up. So we ran up, found resistance, pulled back, it ran for it again, resistance again, and then it's kind of sold off. If this does end up being a low here, stop loss right below the low of this daily candle, and we start seeing price head back up here, at a certain point, I don't think that this resistance area will continue being resistance. If we keep popping up like this, pretty soon it's possible that we break out. The Qs need a little bit of time though, so it's okay to transition your trades. Instead of trading Apple, Amazon, Google, those kind of names, maybe take a look around the market and see what else you can find. But speaking of Apple, let's just go to Apple chart here. Again, very bullish day today. I know we gapped down, but trend change right here on heavier than normal volume. So to me, it's possible that Apple needed time to consolidate and is going to continue back up. Absolutely possible. In fact, if I looked at Apple for a minute, it looks like we broke out, back tested, rallied, and now we just came to back test again. Right? So anything is possible. We have earnings next week in a lot of different names. So I don't think the market is just going to roll over, and just start selling off here. I think it would take a lot for that to happen. There are still tensions going on with China. Any other kind of news that can come out over the weekend, virus concerns. But as you guys noticed, there's something that I wanted to just kind of point out. I hear a lot of people talk about this, and it's the number of virus-related type issues. And I'm not here to say that the things are true or not true, whether it's credible or not credible. The virus is a very scary thing, especially for our grandparents and parents, people who are easily affected by sickness. Um, you know, it's a terrible thing that we're living in. But what has the market done since the March lows? The market has not cared about the virus since the March lows. Fear, and now we've been rallying, right? It hasn't cared. So, yes, it's possible if states start shutting down again and we start seeing a little bit of sell off here, it's possible we break below. But that's not going to happen in one day, right? Let's take a look at the transports, and then we'll start to wrap up this video. See, and I see something different with the transports. This is what I see. I see continue. I mean, this has just been a kind of a rocket ride, pulled back, and so far we've been making, after this top part pulling back, we're going for it again, right? So you see this, we're putting in higher lows, and even from this higher low, we're putting in higher highs. And I know this is technically the high, but speaking this right, this higher low right, or this higher high right here from down in this area. So to me, what this pattern looks like it's doing is it looks like it is rallying, trading sideways. What usually happens after trading sideways? It's consolidating. This is consolidation. Usually it's a move to the upside. Doesn't have to be, but usually. That's what I see in the transports. Let's go to the IWM. I took a short trade in the IWM yesterday and today. And it doesn't look like that big of a deal. Just looking at the chart, look how small this candle is. Doesn't look like that big of a deal. Could we come back and fill this gap? Absolutely. Do we have to? No, but we could. Pretty bearish close today. That's for sure. Pretty bearish close. So IWM is telling us something a little bit different. Let's go to the SMH. Oh, and by the way, speaking of SMH, AMD trade was absolutely phenomenal. I did not take the trade. I was not participating in it, but whoever did, congratulations. And by the way, that AMD trade was featured in our Sunday live stream. We talked about it. Okay. So if you guys get a chance, check us out on Sundays, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join us. It's a 1 hour long, and I like to give traders the opportunity to ask questions. Any type of thing that they need questions on, as far as technical analysis, um, you know, macroeconomics. It really doesn't matter. Uh, any type of questions that they have regarding trading that can help them become more successful, feel free to join us. So looking at the SMH, same thing, we're just pulling back. Why this candle right here, does it look any different than any of these? Overall, are we in an uptrend? A very strong uptrend? Absolutely. Is there any reason why we can't continue off here to make higher prices? We absolutely can. In fact, I don't see a daily reversal on this chart. There isn't a daily reversal candle on this chart. Maybe this one. Technically, yeah, we closed below the day before. Closed below the low of the day before. So technically, that's a daily reversal. Okay, but we're above all the moving averages in an uptrend, right? So until we start seeing a breakdown, if I drew a trend line in here and I saw a breakdown on conviction, maybe even on volume, and we back tested and then started to roll over, that would be a good short entry. Okay. I think that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to briefly go over this with you guys. And by the way, feel free to check out our Discord. I put the links to both Discord channels in the description. Day Trading Done Easy and Ride the Bull. We do posts there. There's I don't want to call them stream alerts, but they are alerts. And I do my normal morning market analysis, and where I see the markets usually before market open. So usually between 6 and 6:30, you'll see a post for me. And then as the day continues, I go through different plays that I take. And then there's a bunch of other people that are in that group that also post plays. So it's a way for us to get together, to learn together, to try to try the best that we can to make money in the markets. So if you get a chance, feel free to check out both of those groups. I know Discord can be a lot at times, but to me, it's worth it if you get to know that platform. It is well worth it. Anyway, that just about wraps it up. You guys have a good, safe weekend, and hopefully we will see you Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Feel free to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of the video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't get anything out of the video, and possibly leave me a word of encouragement, maybe some suggestion. If there's something that you want to see more in these videos, just let me know and we can make that happen. All right, take it easy. Have a good weekend.